When my grandfather's lawyer handed me that check for $38 million, the room went silent in a way that felt heavy and dangerous, like the moment right before a thunderstorm cracks open the sky. My dad's eyes widened first in shock, then in pure greed, and before I could even take a breath, he lunged across the table, snatched the check out of my hands, and struck me so hard I fell out of my chair. I remember hitting the floor and staring up at him, his face twisted with a rage I didn't understand. That's the moment everything shattered for me. The moment I realized maybe my own father had never really loved me. And now I need to know, was I wrong for what I did afterward? Because part of me still wonders if I crossed a line, even though another part knows I had no choice. I guess to understand how we got to that moment, I have to start from the beginning. My grandfather, my dad's father, was the only person in my family who ever treated me like I mattered. My mom passed away when I was 12, and my dad, well, he didn't so much step up as he stepped out. He didn't become abusive physically back then, but emotionally, he was a ghost in the house, saying only a few words a week and acting like my existence was an inconvenience. He remarried quickly, and my stepmom, Angela, made it clear she wanted nothing to do with me. I spent most nights alone in my room, eating microwave dinners while my dad and Angela went out to restaurants or hosted wine nights with their friends. The only person who checked on me who genuinely cared was Grandpa. Grandpa would show up randomly, tapping his cane on the hardwood floors as he announced loudly, "Where's my favorite grandson?" Even though I was his only one. He'd take me out for ice cream, teach me how to fish, show me how to change a car tire. He filled in the spaces my father never bothered to touch. Sometimes he'd pull me aside and say, "You're growing up kind even after all you've been through. Don't let the bitterness around you take root in you." I didn't fully understand that at the time, but those words followed me all the way through high school. My dad never liked that Grandpa and I were close. Looking back, I think he was jealous, though he'd never admit it. He would always say things like, "Dad spoils you too much," or, "You think life is going to be that easy when you grow up?" Grandpa would just chuckle and say, "I'm making sure he has what I didn't give you." My dad would go quiet after that. The muscles in his jaw clenched so tight you could see the line from across the room. I didn't understand that tension until years later. When Grandpa fell sick last year, I spent almost every free hour at the hospital with him. My dad, he showed up twice. Angela didn't come at all. Grandpa always insisted I didn't need to be there every day, but I wanted to be. He was fading, and I couldn't imagine not being there for him the way he had been there for me. His last week, he squeezed my hand and whispered, "Take care of yourself. And remember, you deserve better than what they gave you." I had no idea those would be the last words he'd ever say to me. His funeral was small but dignified. My dad complained it was too modest for a man who had money, even though he refused to help pay for anything. I covered most of the arrangements with the small amount I had saved from my part-time job and college work. The whole thing just felt wrong. My grandfather deserved more, but I did what I could. 2 weeks later, we got the call to attend the will reading. My dad lit up like a kid on Christmas morning. I'd never seen him more excited to be somewhere. He assumed, because he was the older son, the only child actually, he would get the lion's share of everything. I didn't expect anything. I honestly just wanted to hear what Grandpa had left behind emotionally, maybe some message he wanted to pass to me. The money didn't even cross my mind. The lawyer, an older gentleman with half-moon glasses, cleared his throat and began reading. He started by listing some family heirlooms and personal belongings my dad was to receive. My father seemed disappointed but held on to the hope that the real treasure was coming later. Then the lawyer paused, looked directly at me, and read the words that changed the entire energy in the room. "To my grandson, who showed me loyalty, compassion, and love beyond what I ever saw from my own child, I leave the entirety of my liquid assets, amounting to $38 million. The air froze. Angela gasped dramatically, like she was auditioning for a bad soap opera. My dad shot up from his chair and yelled, "What? That's impossible. Read it again." The lawyer calmly repeated the statement. My hands were shaking. Not from excitement, though I won't pretend. That kind of money doesn't shock you, but from confusion. I didn't understand why Grandpa had left me everything. Then the lawyer handed me the check as proof that the transfer had been initiated. I barely had time to process the weight of the paper in my hand before it was ripped away, and my cheek exploded in pain. My dad screamed at the lawyer, demanding he explain the will, saying it had to be a mistake. The lawyer stayed calm, even as my dad's spit flew into his face. He said, "Sir, your father was very clear. He made this decision intentionally." My dad turned back to me, rage twisting his features into something unrecognizable. "You little snake," he snarled. "You manipulated him. You stole my inheritance." That money was supposed to be mine. I tasted blood in my mouth, but somehow managed to choke out. I didn't even know he had that kind of money. He didn't listen. He grabbed me by the shirt and shoved me against the wall. Angela stood there watching with wide, hungry eyes, like she wanted to see how far he would go. The lawyer immediately called security, and they pulled my dad away before things escalated further. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. Over the next few days, my dad unleashed hell. He blew up my phone with calls and texts, alternating between threats and begging. "Give me half," he said. Then, "Fine, give me 20 million. Then I raised you. You owe me everything you have. Then, if you think you can keep that money from me, you'll regret it." I blocked his number. He made new ones. I blocked those too. He showed up at my apartment building banging on the door, until a neighbor threatened to call the police. Finally, I talked to a lawyer and had a restraining order filed. That's when things calmed down for a while. But here's where the dilemma kicked in. Because even though my dad treated me terribly my whole life, even though he struck me, stole from me, and demanded things he never deserved, I still felt something tugging at me. Guilt, obligation, conditioning from years of trying to earn his approval. I don't know, but I spent weeks wondering if keeping all the money made me a bad person. He was my father after all. Shouldn't I give him something? Shouldn't I at least hear him out? I kept thinking about what Grandpa would say. Would he want me to keep everything? Or would he want me to share? Before I continue, I want to ask you, honestly, what would you have done in my place? Imagine you're sitting there with $38 million, money you never asked for, and the person who treated you like garbage your entire life suddenly acts like you owe it all to him. Would you give him something? Would you cut him off completely? Pause and think about it, because this is exactly the mental war I was fighting. Comment what you would have done before I tell you what happened next. After weeks of silence, my dad finally emailed me. It wasn't an apology. It wasn't even a normal message. It was a long, rambling paragraph about how he had sacrificed so much for me, how I wouldn't have survived childhood without him, and how he was willing to forgive me if I gave him $10 million. I stared at the screen for a long time. $10 million to buy forgiveness from a man who'd never given me love in the first place. I didn't respond. Hours later, another email came. Short this time. Angry. "You're a selfish, ungrateful brat. Don't worry, you'll get what's coming to you." That one I forwarded to my lawyer. The next day, someone slashed the tires on my car. A few days after that, someone left a dead bird on my doorstep. I couldn't prove it was him, but the timing wasn't subtle. Eventually, I decided I needed to take action before things escalated further. Using part of the inheritance, I upgraded my security, moved to a gated community, and hired a private investigator. Within a week, the investigator confirmed what I suspected. My dad had been following me. He'd been telling people in the family that I'd stolen his future and that he deserved compensation. He had even contacted a shady consultant to help him convince his son to cooperate. When I heard that, something in me snapped. Not anger, not sadness, just clarity. Grandpa didn't leave me the money because he wanted me to be rich. He left it because he wanted me to be free. So I made a decision. Through my lawyer, I sent my dad one final message. Any further contact will be considered harassment and will result in legal action. You are entitled to nothing. Do not contact me again. He responded with threats. My lawyer forwarded them to the court. The restraining order was extended, and within days the police served him papers. Angela left him. I heard later that she'd only married him for money anyway, and realized she'd bet on the wrong horse. My dad spiraled. He lost his job, lost his house. He reached out one last time through a cousin, asking for just $5,000 to get back on his feet. I didn't respond. I didn't feel joy about it. I didn't feel vengeance or triumph. I just felt peace. Maybe for the first time in my life. Now I live quietly. I'm finishing college without debt. I've donated to charities Grandpa cared about. I bought a house modestly, nothing flashy. And sometimes I sit on the porch and think about him, about the way he'd pat my shoulder and say, "You're doing fine, kid." Better than fine. And I realize now that the money wasn't his final gift. My freedom was. So that's my story. And if you were on my side, if you think I did what I had to do, like this video, subscribe for more stories like this. And please share your Final thoughts in the comments was, I wrong for cutting my father off completely? Or did he earn that distance long before any money entered the picture? I'll see you all in the next story.